I guess it's time to roll out, everybody. Welcome to the channel. And today I will be doing a review on the new Transformers movie, Transformers 1. So, what did I think about this movie? Well, first and foremost, just so you guys know, when I went to see this, I went to see this with the lovely lady. It was her birthday. So, went out and took her to see this. Now, here is the thing that I have to tell you guys about. I am not really a huge fan of some of the animation choices that they've done over the years. In particular, there's a couple of iterations I haven't liked. I've been more of a fan of the 80s art style. Also, too, I was not particularly sure about the cast of people that we had voicing. A lot of the voice cast was very, very strange choices as far as voice acting goes. You do not have, hey, what's up, Jay? You do not have some of the original voice actors who have done the Transformers doing the voices for this iteration. Also, the movies have progressively gone down the fucking hill. I think the last Transformers movie I liked, like legitimately enjoyed, was probably Transformers 1 and 2. And Bumblebee. Yes, Bumblebee was decent. But yeah, I did not have very many high hopes going into this film. I honestly thought this was kind of going to be a retrend. How many fucking times do we have to do the whole Optimus and Megatron war, and Megatron turns evil and Optimus is fighting him? You know, you've heard it all before. But alas, folks, you have not. Because I am happy to report Transformers 1 is probably the most, it's probably the best Transformers since the original movie I saw. And actually, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably better than the movie. Hey, what's up, South Florida Drifter? Good to see you. Welcome. We're just gonna go over the my non-spoiler thoughts on Transformers 1. So what is Transformer 1 about? Transformer 1 is essentially way before. So we are talking Optimus Prime, Megatron as fans. Now, I'm sure you guys are shocked. I'm sure you're shocked to know that me, General Zod, is the biggest Megatron fan in the world. Yeah, I know. Shocking. I root for the villain. Welcome to the fucking channel. But anyways, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Megatron. And so I was intrigued to see what it was going to look like with these guys before they become the Autobots that we know and love. So basically the plot of this is that on Cybertron, the Orion Pax, who would later be known as Optimus Prime, and D016, who would become Megatron, they are nobodies, and they mined these mines of Energon, and they do some things, and after wacky shenanigans, they are in this place where they meet somebody else you'll know, and the plot of the movie kind of kicks off from there. They come upon some information, and as you go through it, you find out that there's been a lot of deceiving and things like that. So first off, I want to start off with the voice acting. Now, I'm going to say, can't believe you didn't cover the Lauren Owens case. Is hilarious. Would love to see you laugh my ass off. Lauren Owens. Yes. Yeah, I gotta look into that. I've had a lot of stuff for Drifter. There's a lot of movies, a lot of shows, tons of things I got to cover. I barely have time to even cover some of this stuff. So anyways, so you got you got basically something that happens with the people who run the world. Cybertron is losing Energon, and people are forced to mine. Supposedly, the leader, he's leading this battle against these creatures, and called the, I believe it was Quintessons. And basically, he's been going out looking for this artifact. Hello, Iggy, how are you? And what is my thoughts on Bane and Deathstroke movie tonight? Movie might lead into a Secret Six movie. I will actually let you know on that. I'm not to 100% on that one yet. But yeah, that's a great question. I will definitely get back to you on that. But anyways, so wacky shenanigans ensued. What do I think? Well, first off, I'm going to start with my negatives, and then I'll go into my positives, because quite honestly, I have only a few negatives, to be quite honest. And it's nice to lead into positives when my list of negatives is short. This has been a really good, honestly, like for TV shows and movies, this has been an extraordinarily good set of last couple of months, to be quite honest. But my negatives are this. One, the voice acting is very hard to get used to until you get into the movie a bit. Now, in the beginning, a lot of it threw me off. And I will say, they have a good explanation for why the voices sound different. And, essentially, this is a tale before they become the Optimus Prime, Megatron, or, any of the other robots that we know. But I'm not going to lie, it was a little jarring. The other thing that I have to say is the plot takes a little bit to kick up. And that part I really don't mind, because they're setting up the story. And some of the jokes were hit or miss. A good majority of them made me laugh. Like, that's hands down. A good majority of them were funny. Some of them didn't land. But for the most part, a lot of the jokes were good. And it really just the voice work. Like, some of the voices threw me off till the end, where I go, okay, that sounds like the character I remember. And I get it, but I kind of still am on the side of, I wish the voices still would have been kind of closer, like in the middle of the movie. Sounded slightly more robotic. Like, they didn't have to sound like Optimus or Megatron, because I get it. They're transitioning into the people we know now, but it's still very jarring for me. Other than that, really, I'm really reaching for anything else that I would find that was really bothering me at all. No, that's it. So, yeah, that's the only thing that really bugged me. So let me get to the positives. First off, the animation style is absolutely gorgeous. When seeing the previews, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. It looked like a style that I don't like, which was this show that used to come on called Transformers Prime or something. I never liked the art style of that, so I was a little bit leery on the art style for this movie. But honestly, folks, seeing it in the big screen, there are very gorgeously beautiful shots in this movie. There's a couple of scenes that are just absolutely stunning to look at. The fights are very well choreographed. Even with them becoming Transformers, they don't transform right away. And I liked the progression. Like, they didn't just even after they get their powers, they don't just transform. They can't figure it out because they've never transformed. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve. I absolutely love what they did with Megatron. Absolutely fantastic. The character development is surprisingly good. And this isn't a movie. This is like a cartoon. But the writers and directors, I gotta say, the relationship between Megatron and Optimus Prime is absolutely fucking heartbreaking. There is honestly, legitimately a couple moments I was not expecting, especially near the end of the movie, where I got choked up, where I was like, holy shit. There's actually a holy shit moment for this being like a kid's thing, I want to say. And honestly, I would say it like leans more towards a more mature movie. There's a moment where both me and Bitchy were like, holy shit, they actually did that. Like, I couldn't believe they showed a particular scene. And like I said, this is non-spoilers, so I don't want to get into the weeds. Maybe I'll do a spoiler review with Bitchy sometime so she could give you her thoughts. But this is just my take, and I gotta say, I've seen this thing they do at the end a dozen times in other movies, but by the time you get to the point where you're at, for some reason, the way they pull it off in this movie was very good. I mean, B was probably my favorite in this, or as they're going to call him now. Remember this name, Badassatron. You'll get the joke when you see the movie. Yeah, and that was the other thing too. They said badass a lot. I was not expecting that in a kids movie. This felt very much like you could bring your kids to it, but it also was like super adult with its themes and the message of the story and even some of the language. And it was violent too. Holy shit, some people got fucked up in this movie. There was like a level of violence I was not expecting, where I was like, okay, is this aimed for kids or are we doing this for adults? Which I think works, and obviously because this movie has had pretty strong word of mouth. But yeah, there were some moments where I was like, Jesus Christ, man, that robot got fucked up. Especially at the ending. Watch, the ending is like one giant set piece of action that I swear to God lasts like a good half hour of the movie, where you're just kind of going, oh, wow. And it's a big spectacle, but not a spectacle that wastes time. Everything has a purpose. And look, the story is nothing new. Two best friends, they come up together, they find out something, one betrays the other, and they go their separate ways. Like, we've heard the story 1,000 times. And nothing new about the overarching plot, a ruler full of shit, ruling the people through fear, that kind of thing. But the way that they choose to tell the story and how they get you emotionally invested in the characters in the very beginning, so that, and I like the fact too that it doesn't focus on like every fucking robot in the Transformers saga. There is some neat little nods to nerd fans. My wonderful Lady Bitchy Unicorn went fucking nuts. There were a couple of things she recognized that I didn't. She was like giddy about. So for people who are fans, there's things for them to pick up. Like I said, I'm a very basic in the Transformers lore. I know enough. I know most of what they were talking about to get what they were, and I know enough of the characters to understand the cameos. But for Transformers fans, this is really a good movie. Like, this movie is definitely for them. And yeah, overall, it was a great movie. Not really much to say, not much to bitch at. Normally, I would be ranting and raving about something, but they did it right. The executive producer was Steven Spielberg. Michael Bay was the producer, but thankfully he's not fucking writing these stories anymore, so they're pretty good. And there were a lot of people who went into this. Now, the current the budget for the movie was between 75 and 147 million. So I'm guessing the main budget is 75 million, but between marketing and everything, it's up to 147 million. The box office currently is sitting at 72 million, which means it hasn't exactly broke even with its budget quite yet, but I think this movie does have legs. The problem is this movie is also going to be competing against Joker 2. There's a lot of different things coming out. I honestly hope this movie does well. I think that even if it doesn't hit its goal, because the word of mouth for this is so strong, I think it's going to do good in DVD and whatever sells. But honestly, it was a good movie. Definitely check it out. I'm really hoping that they do another one in this style. And honestly, I hope the people who made this do that second one, because you could tell that there was a lot of love and care put in this. I think my overall score for this is going to be an 8 out of 10. There were a couple of things that were just like, and I'm not really a huge Transformers fan, but for somebody who's a casual watcher of the Transformers, and I have my Transformers that I love, I'm more of the 80s Transformer guy. I'd say this was the best modern take that they've done in years. And I think, honestly, this series could be the best adaptation. I mean, when I left, I honestly wanted to see them do a sequel. And when I first went in, I had no expectations for this movie whatsoever. And I think a lot of people have said that, but it's true. This movie is good. Go check it out. Transformers Prime. Tomorrow I will be doing episode 2 of The Penguin called The Inside Man. It'll be a full spoiler breakdown. I wanted to give the episode like maybe this Monday for people to sit down and watch it a little bit more so I could really get into in-depth spoilers, but I'll be doing an inside the episode, which is the HBO breakdown. First, I will tell you guys about the episode and talk about it a little bit, break it down, like what I thought of it, and then I will break down what the directors and whatnot have to say about it and let you know my ideas and things like that. So check that out tomorrow for DC Afternoons. It'll be tomorrow at noon. And check out the channel. I got a lot more coming. Thank you. I posted a thing on Dr. Disrespect. Got a lot of a lot of comments on that video. So definitely check out that video. Let me know what you think. And also, I will be doing a video probably tomorrow as well on the whole Mr. Beast situation. If you guys don't know what's going on with that, check that out. I know there's a lot of other things going on as well, a couple of different cases that people want me to check out. I've just been buried and swamped with all this other stuff. There's so many movies and shows and things to go over. It's so much entertainment happening. This has been a like crazy busy year. Plus I've had birthdays and anniversaries and things like that. So I can't always get to everything. But thank you guys for watching. Click that like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things. And as always, remember the one rule here in the Phantom Zone: kneel before General Zod and roll out.